a coffee lover. So get incredibly high-quality, freedom-based products and help fund the revolution at INFOWARSShop.com.
The facts are in. The studies are legion. Sodium fluoride and other toxic members of the fluoride family are devastating the health and cognitive ability of the American people. So why are the social engineers adding it to the water? Simple. Dumb down the host population that the parasitic technocracy is feeding on. We may not have been able to get fluoride out of the water supply yet, but we can help to get it out of our bodies. I am extremely excited to announce the exclusive INFOWARS Life Fluoride Shield formulation, fusing 6 of the best documented ingredients from around the world to help the body remove not just toxic fluoride residues from the body, but a whole host of toxic substances. Let's take a stand against the globalists by blocking their poisons with Fluoride Shield. I use Fluoride Shield every day. Secure your Fluoride Shield and other pioneering formulations at InfoWarsLife.com today. Let's start cleansing our bodies now and support the Info War at the same time. That's InfoWarsLife.com.
After the 9/11 attacks, the American public was told that Al-Qaeda acted alone. They told us that 9/11 was not state-sponsored terrorism, meaning no other country or government helped plan, finance, practice, and execute the complicated and well-orchestrated attack on our country. We were led to believe it was perpetrated solely by Osama bin Laden and his al-Qaeda network of radical Muslim extremists. The United States and its allies retaliated first by targeting Afghanistan and then by launching the invasion of Iraq in 2003.
Every nation in every region now has a decision to make. Either you are with us or you are with the terrorists.
But 13 years after September 11th, 2001, there are still questions about who planned and financed 9/11. And 28 censored pages of the official 9/11 report remain classified to this day as a matter of national security. But many surviving family members of the victims and a growing number of the American public aren't buying the Bush administration's original claim that the documents must be kept secret to help investigators hunt down terrorists. In fact, there has recently been a handful of lawmakers who have finally been able to get access to the protected 28 pages, and they are absolutely shocked at the level of foreign state involvement in the attacks.
This is sort of shocking when you read it. As I read it, and we all had our own experience, I had to stop every couple pages and just sort of absorb and try to rearrange my understanding of history for the past 13 years and the years leading up to that. It challenges you to rethink everything. And so I think the whole country needs to go through that.
I want those documents declassified. I'm embarrassed to be associated with a work product that is secret.
Now, federal law forbids these guys to publicly identify which foreign entity was responsible in assisting the terrorist, but judging by the long history of the Bush family's close and personal relationship with the Saudi royal family, all evidence points to Saudi Arabia. And now a bipartisan bill has been sponsored by Congressman Walter Jones and Stephen Lynch, asking President Obama to release the classified records. Yeah, well, don't hold your breath. The new boss is the same as the old boss. Former Senator Bob Graham, who co-chaired the Joint Senate-House investigation into the September 11th attacks, he says, "I am convinced that there was a direct line between at least some of the terrorists who carried out the September 11th attacks and the government of Saudi Arabia." He called it a smoking gun and went on to say the reason for this cover-up goes right up to the White House. Meanwhile, the New York Post says the Saudis deny any role in 9/11, but the CIA in one memo reportedly found incontrovertible evidence that Saudi government officials, not just wealthy Saudi hardliners, but high-level diplomats and intelligence officers employed by the kingdom, helped the hijackers both financially and logistically.
What do we know is in the 28 censored pages of the 9/11 report. People that have seen it said it would bring down the whole system.
I've met with and talked to multiple members of Congress who read it. They are convinced the American people needs to see it. It has to do with information which is not convenient to the White House, either White House, the Clinton White House or the Bush White House, and it has to do with an ally who essentially looked the other way and allowed a lot of support for the terrorists who conducted the attack.
But just to be clear, this is what I've been told, that there was a cover-up, that Saudi Arabia was involved, and basically that's why there was a stand-down, because they didn't want to embarrass the Saudis, and that's why 6 of the 10 commissioners want it released. Is that right?
I can't confirm everything you just said, but I can confirm the Saudi is the name of the country which is being implicated, yes.
And do you think it's going to be released?
I'm working with a number of members of Congress and doing everything I can to help behind the scenes. I hope that they do. I know there's a coalition right now trying to get it released, Alex. I hope they get it released.
That's right. You're working with Walter Jones of North Carolina and Stephen Lynch of Massachusetts.
That's correct, yes.
Well, you guys don't need to fly on any small planes, I'll tell you that.
That's true.
Wow. So the question is, if members of the Saudi government did in fact help train and finance the hijackers, wouldn't that make 9/11 more than just an act of terrorism? I mean, that would make it an act of war. And I think we can all agree that the classified documents no longer, if ever, pose a risk to national security. I guess you could say they do pose a risk to George W. So what are you afraid of, Bush? Why don't you and Obama get together and release the documents? After all, you're either with us or you're with the terrorist.
I began to get into iodine a few years ago because it was helping me and my family so much get healthy and detoxify. I believe our research is conclusive. This is the best iodine out there. And I know this for a fact. Nobody else has got iodine based on these pure crystals, ladies and gentlemen. For a limited time, experience the ancient power of Survival Shield X2. Take advantage of this unprecedented 30% off Super Detox Special at InfoWarsLife.com.
City of Austin tap water versus filtered City of Austin tap water.
I can taste dirt in it.
God knows what's in this.
This has an aftertaste.
Tastes like Austin water? Yeah, it does. Ugh.
These people just sampled City of Austin tap water straight from the faucet. Next, we had them try a sample of tap water filtered through the ProPure G2.0 filtration system.
High quality H2O.
That one is better.
Tastes like nothing.
Yep, I know what good water tastes like. It's good water.
Most tap water contains added substances like fluoride, chlorine, Monsanto's deadly pesticide, glyphosate, and many others. Studies prove that these substances are linked to an assortment of major health issues, including tooth decay, lowered IQ, and even cancer.
It tastes like you're drinking out of the lake when you're drinking tap water.
Yeah, it has that processed flavor to it.
The ProPure G2.0 filtration system removes these deadly substances and many more, leaving only fresh-tasting, deliciously clean water.
Okay, this is very tasty.
It's good water.
Refreshing.
It's good.
Go to InfoWarsStore.com today. Use promo code WATER and save 10% off your ProPure purchase. Again, that's InfoWarsStore.com or call 1-888-253-3139.
Leanne McAdoo reporting for InfoWars.com here in New York City, just across the street from the 9/11 Memorial and Museum, waiting for the ceremony to get over. The plaza itself will be opening up at 6 o'clock for the public, but until then, all of the protesters are once again corralled into a tiny pen. Now, this is New York City. This city is huge. There's plenty of room for people to congregate and to protest. But of course, if you are exercising your free speech and you want to counter the official narrative, you're going to get squeezed inside of a pen. Now, later on today, we're going to be talking to some people out on the streets who aren't penned up inside to see what they think about this. What do they think about the fact that these people are out here challenging the official narrative? But like a good little slave, I'm going to go ahead and make my way over into the free speech zone so I can freely speak. But here in New York, it's A really lovely day for liberty out here. People are being very responsive. They're incredibly open to this message, and people are, you know, it's been 13 years. People have been standing strong, protesting for 13 years, demanding truth, not allowing the reality of 9/11 to just fade into some symbolic memory. What do you guys think about the fact the first responders are not invited to the ceremony? Don't you think they should be honored?
I have no comment.
Well, what do you think? What do you think about the fact that the flag at a federal building is not flying at half-mast? I mean, nearly 3,000 people died on this day 13 years ago.
Excuse me.
Free speech is alive here in America, but some people do not want to exercise their First Amendment. Although I bet he has a very good opinion about all of this. Well, I'm gonna make my way like a good slave over here into the free speech zone, reporting live here from the epicenter of where ISIS has said this will be their next terror target. Leanne McAdoo for INFOWARS.com.
I'm Joe Biggs with INFOWARS.com in New York City, right down the road from Ground Zero, where Building 7 is, right over here in One World. We're standing at a federal building right now where they have not even put the flag at half-mast. Once again, this is the 13th anniversary of the worst attack on American soil. Now, if Whitney Houston dies, or Nelson Mandela, we'll lower the flag for that. But 3,000 people died, and then 2 wars are sparked, which kill thousands more people. We won't even acknowledge that. So let's go in and ask these people why they will not even give the people who died the respect to lower the flag. You guys know what today is, right? Oh, I'm just curious. This is a federal building. 3,000 people died. Why isn't the flag at half-mast? If Nelson Mandela, Whitney Houston, someone dies as a celebrity, you guys would put the flag at half-mast. But this is the 13th anniversary of the worst attack on American soil. I find that to be extremely disrespectful and the most.
First of all,
especially when
we can't have no
I'm
interviews.
news.
I understand that. We can't have interviews.
Well, it's not an interview. It's a straight up
Can you
question.
explain the egregious oversight?
Come through, sir. How you doing?
But if say if some celebrity dies today, you guys will lower the flag for that.
We're going to the same spot. Let me sign.
You find that offensive that they're not even going to lower a flag at a federal building for 9/11?
Shouldn't it be at half-mast? It was for Whitney Houston.
See, there you go. People here don't even care. It's sickening to know that something like this can happen.
Right across the street.
And it's a federal building. People are supposed to, our taxpayer dollars go to this place. What a joke. Our government, our country has literally become the biggest joke in the world.
Nice patriotism.
Get a real job.
No comment.
That's it.
Everyone is so afraid to just speak because they know they're being watched at every moment, and everything they say is going to be held against them. They can't even speak for themselves.
That's the thing,
they were blubbering idiots.
That's what the entire point of these attacks were, to put everybody in a state of fear that imposes martial law, this police state everywhere. People are so scared. The CIA is watching, the NSA, they own Google, they own everything you do, they know what you search. And then if you look for 9/11 truth stuff, and then when you speak out about it, they're afraid they're going to be persecuted, arrested, fired. And then, like you said, the president did say that he would be extremely transparent. There you go. Yeah. That's transparency right there. That's clearly saying to the world, look at me, I don't give a flying about what's going on. That is a joke. It makes me sick in my stomach. Joe Biggs, INFOWARS.com.
That's it for this edition of the InfoWars Nightly News, but be sure to stop by PrisonPlanet.tv and get yourself a 15-day free trial. It funds our operation. It allows us to send our guys to New York and other places, so be sure to get your membership there at PrisonPlanet.tv. Well, that's it for this segment. I'm Jakari Jackson for the InfoWars Nightly News, and we'll see you again tomorrow night.